river catfishing. So in my rafting the reel on a monster catfish video, I asked you guys if you wanted to see how I made it, and a few of you said yes, you did. So I'll go ahead and make a video showing you guys how I put this raft together. It was a great time. We had a blast. I would highly recommend it. You guys, if you haven't done that event, get out there and do it. It's tons of fun. So let's get to the catfish, and I'll show you how I built my raft. Alright, so the first thing I did is I made a plywood platform to create the base of this thing. And as you can see, there's an old jewelry liquidator sign that I had. And this sticks out towards the fin. The fin is actually part of the sign. And it was actually shaped like a triangle. So you see that point there, and on the other fin, the other point. So I just I cut this radius. I came in and I cut the radius to make the opening for the mouth, and I left it straight across here. So it just has a curve from there to the fin, and then straight across. And the reason I left it straight is because that's where I would be sitting, and I just figured it'd be easier to work it that way. So alright, so the plywood in the front is 3/4 inch thick, so it's pretty solid. The plywood sheets in the back are scrap pieces that I had laying around, and they are, I think, probably 3/8 inch thick, so they're not very thick. But what I did to sturdy it up is I ran that 1x from the plywood all the way down to the tail. So I just attached that 1x that tied the ends together and gave me some room to work where I attach my PVC. This is actually CPVC, not regular PVC. It's a little thinner. It's kind of like the stuff I guess it is the stuff that you find in a mobile home. So this is 1/2 inch CPVC. So that's the base. And the way I've got the dimensions for this is I put this jug in the front. I think it's about a 15-gallon jug, and I gave it just enough room to fit in between each 2x4, which are 16-foot lengths. And I chose 16-foot lengths just because that's what I had laying around the house. Alright, so I propped up the back on a sawhorse so we can get a look at the underneath. So I was telling you how I figured the front was the width of the barrel or the jug, and the back is the same thing, except I turned it sideways, or a straight in line, I guess. So that's how I figured the spacing. For the 2x4s. And then the way I attach these is I just took a screw and doubled up my tie wire, twisted it up. You can see it's getting a little rust on it already, so probably tie wire might not be the best thing for this, but I used it just because it's laying around. My original idea was to take tie downs and drill holes in the plywood decking and strap it down, but I just felt like using tie wire on this project. So it's just 2 going around the barrel, and then this one here is important. It keeps the 2 that are strapping the barrel down from opening up to the sides and allowing it to escape. So that's how I attach the barrels. And you can see I've got one in the back, this one here, one there, one on the opposite side, 3 down the middle right there where that one is, which would be this line here. So there's 3 across there, 1 under each fin, an empty spot in the middle, and the other one on the other side where the fin is. So that's 3, 6, 8, 10. 10 barrels. And that was more than enough. Now the framework of this was pretty simple to do. All I did is I took a 3/4 inch bit and drilled holes roughly every 2 feet, and I just figured the arches as I needed them. What I would do is I would just stick the PVC pipe, the CPVC pipe in there, and let it run out the bottom and adjust it as needed. And once I got it to where I wanted it, I would tack it in place with a 3-inch screw. There you can see. I don't know if there's enough light on that, but you can see the pipe in there, and then that's a 3-inch screw going through, holding that pipe in place, and then I just cut off the excess on the bottom. So that allowed me to figure these arches. For the front here. Yeah. So I did arches all the way about to the middle where the dorsal fin is. I threw a T on the center of that arch, and that's where the pipe comes out for the dorsal fin. And then I ran these 2 just as stabilizers to keep it from rocking and sliding around. Now to get the pointed back and the tail end, I just bent the pipe. I measured where I wanted, where center would be, and I just bent it, and I screwed it together with a 1.25-inch screw. And those panhead screws are actually pretty neat because they push the pipe out a little bit as it goes in, so it gives it a little bit of a bow. So instead of making it really flat, so I just did that the rest of the way down. And that's the basic construction of this thing. To make the windows on this, I figured out roughly where the person would be sitting and squared out the window. And then I just threw in a couple of chairs. This one, threw it in, and I actually did screw it down, so if the boat would rock or anything, it wouldn't move. And then I threw that little bench in the back for the back seat. But now that I've tested it and I know how much weight it could hold, which this thing could probably hold 4 adults easily, I'd probably put a bench all the way across here and in the front, and I could sit 2 people in the back, 2 people in the front, and then somebody rowing in the mouth. So this is the basic construction of my catfish raft. The cloth that I draped it with was just a thin cloth that I bought at the fabric store. It's very thin. It's got a nice shimmer to it, what I liked about it. And this was probably the most expensive part of my project, which was, oh, how many yards did I buy? I think 20 or so yards, if not more. It was I ended up spending a little over $100 just for the cloth alone, I think. Yeah, but then it just spray painted the gill cover there and the eye. Gave the fin some lines, got them tied down so they don't flap in the wind. But oh, and then on this little fin, what I did is I just cut 2 pieces of leftover plywood and screwed them together, trapping that CPVC pipe and screwing it to the pipe, and that's pretty much it. I attached the fabric, as you can see, with these little screws, little 1/2-inch screws. And that's how I built this raft. I actually did take some pictures, so I'll do a little slideshow at the end of the video, and you can see the pictures as I built it. So there's my monster catfish for you guys. Alright guys, so that's how I built my monster catfish raft. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, just send me a message and I'll answer them. As far as the build is concerned on this video, or any other questions in general, I'll do my best to answer them for you. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.